Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please do hit the subscribe button and post notification bell beside it so you can get notified first time if I post a new video. Did you guys notice something different? Did you notice something different? Yes, of course. So I finally bought the microphone. For everybody that's telling me, get the microphone, get the microphone. I finally got one. And yeah, and before people attack me in the comment section telling me I'm supposed to clip it on my clothes because that's like a clip. I tried. It did clip, but it wasn't exactly giving me. It was looking weird. It was looking very awkward. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to hold this on my hand until like I get over the awkwardness of it being on my clothes. But anyways, for this video, we're holding it on our hand. I'm holding it on my hand. I'm one person. I'm holding it on my hand. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so today we're doing a story time. I mean, it's been long since I made a video. Like, it was not like as if I've abandoned you people, but not too long, sharp. But anyways, today we're doing a story time of something that happened in 2019, July 2019 to be precise. Anyways, it's the story of when I was accused of stealing a stove. Like, you had that right. Like, of all the things I was stealing, this world is a stove. This was like when I was in SS3, right? And we were about to take WAEC. So, you before you take WAEC, you take mock first. And I was doing food and nutrition, if you don't know what food and not is. So I was doing food and not. And if you're doing food and not, you have to cook. And my two elder sisters did food and not too during their own time. And so we had a stove that we used to use for the practice, for the exams. Like, we've been passing it down. So it's got to my turn. And we had to take the smoke where we'll cook and blah, blah, blah. So I got everything from home, the stove, the pots, everything. And we did the mock. I cooked. I can't even remember what I cooked. I think jollof rice. Yeah, some other stuff. So I couldn't take everything back home. I couldn't take the stove and the pots home after the mock exam. I was like, okay, later I and my mom come and collect the stuffs and then take you home and stuff like that. Then during WAEC, I'll bring it back to take my WAEC, to actually cook for my WAEC. Somehow, my mom didn't have time to take me to collect it because you actually need a car to collect those things. Like, I'm talking about like a very big Ghana Mosque of cooking supplies. The day my mom finally had time to go was the day before the WAEC exam. And that day, unfortunately, I was like sick. Like, I was really, really, really sick, and I couldn't move. So my mom went alone, and then they told her that they can't give it to her because I'm not with her. So she should leave it tomorrow. I'll come and get it. She actually made friends with one of them, like one of the persons from our side and something like that. So it was like in here one day. So now my mom came back now and I told me that the next day the woman would help me and I would collect my stuff. I'm not the only one that had my stuff there. So I was like, okay, no problem, nothing spoiled. I was still sick, by the way. So the next day, my mom took me to school and actually chilled with me until the invigilators came. And then the woman and other people came, like people that will open the lab for us. So now, they opened the lab. My mom now left now and stuff she had because she had stuff to do. So the woman recognized me. I was actually one of the first people that she like allowed to collect their bag. So I entered the room where they kept the stoves and the bags and the gases and whatever. I took my bag, but I didn't find my stove there. So I told her, I can't see my stove. I can't find my stove. The stove like I was using is this little, there's the big butterfly stove, the red and milky colored one, red and white. Then there's the stainless big butterfly one. Then there's the green squarish stove. And then there's the small circular stove. Yes, the cylindrical one. It says circular. Anyways, it was the cylindrical one that I had, and I didn't see it there, and it had like name on it, but something like it was fading or something like that. But if you know your stuff, right? So it wasn't there, and I told her, "Mom, my stove is not here." She's like, "Okay, that there is one that is outside. I should go and check it." It was like in front of the lab. I went there and I saw the stove. I was like, "Oh, this is my stove." That was my stove, and I carried it. I thought I've seen it too. Blah blah blah. So we started setting our stuffs up for the exam to cook. As we were setting stuff up, there was this lady, like the HOD of the department. She started looking for a certain stove. And when teachers are looking for their stuff, they concern me at all. Like, of course, I'm not the one that took it. She was now disturbing. Now, where's her stuff? Where's her stove? Where's her stove? Can. That ensure everybody that came and that morning to collect their stuff should come out. That's where it now concerned me. I was like, let me come out. And I came out now. She was like, we should bring our stoves out, the stoves that we collected. So All of us brought the stoves. We collected our stoves. So I brought my own now. It was my turn to show her. And I showed her the stove. And she was like, this is the stove. This is her stove. This is the stove she's looking for. Hey, God, I shocked. I said, me, my stove. Hey, don't play with me like that. Do you know the funny thing? This woman was not even a food and not teacher. She was like a home management teacher. And yes, home management had their own practical that day. But nothing concerned food and not safe. So she's like that, I'm a thief. I stole her stove and can't that these are students. I took her stove. I'm such a thief. Like, I'm telling you, this is WAEC practical that somebody's doing and that person's child like this. I say, I don't understand. Hey, God of mercy. I don't understand. I was like, this is my stove. My elder sisters have used this stove. I use this stove for more. What are you saying? Hey, as in, I was so confused. As I'm laughing, as I'm smiling like this, I was not even smiling that day. She not told that I should drop the stove and I should get back. And I was like, I'm supposed to cook. What am I going to cook with? I was so angry, so frustrated, so emotional. It touched me. It pained me that day. So anyways, I went back to my table, and I was sharing the table with this girl, and she was like, I should not worry, that I'll share her gas with her, that when she's not using it, I should use. And what I had to cook was just soup and then make gari. So cooking soup doesn't take time, especially her soup. And it was her soup. So I was like, okay, no problem. And I was so angry, like, and whenever I'm angry, I'm one of those people that would actually cry when they're angry. So I was so angry, and it was like WAEC, and they were like external invigilators, and this is like WAEC. The woman kept shouting at me that I'm a thief, and you don't do that kind of thing to somebody when the person is taking exam. You don't, especially when the person is not the thief. She just kept shouting. I came towards my side, shouting at me that I'm a thief. The thing pained me, and on a normal, anybody that knows me knows that I don't talk back. I don't do that, especially when it's like my teachers or someone that is way older than me. No, I don't do that shit. But that day, she just removed any respect I had for her. Like, if I had any respect for her, it was gone that day, like, gone. And she was shouting at me, and I was like, how can I steal stove? Ma, how can I? Of all the things, I thought I can remember telling her, of all the things I would see to steal in this world, is small cylindrical stove. It's called the secular. But of all the things I was stealing in this world, is small stove, ma. How can I steal stove? Like, I don't even care. So I was like, if I'm failing this, let me fail it. It's not maths, it's not English, it's food and not. You want to frustrate me, I'll frustrate you back. So I was like, of all the things I'll steal with stove. The woman was shocked, because I think that to her, I looked like someone that she could walk all over or something like that. Because in federal girls, like, you have to be like tough. The school I went to, the secondary school I went to, you have to look tough, you have to be tough. But I think my facial expression gives, I can walk all over you. So when I talked back at her, she was shocked. Like, she paused for like a while. Then she now got herself, because I can remember clearly, I'm like seeing it in my hair right now. And she was like, how would I know? I'm like, excuse you. Mind you, this woman is a pastor's wife. Or I've been a bishop. I don't even know. But I know that she's a pastor's wife. And I'm like, how can this woman be? And she always behaves like something is. I was like, what's the meaning of this? Like, why would you be treating somebody like this? This is wrong. But everybody around me not told me that I should calm down, I should fash her. That even the person behind me was like, in short, everybody around me were like that I should not worry, that whenever I'm ready to cook, that they're going to give me their gas to use, or people that had stove are going to give me their stove to use. I was like, thank you. In short, I even lost vibe for the whole exam. Like, I didn't even want to do anything again. Like, I just lost the vibe. The fruit salad I was supposed to make, I was supposed to cut them in like beautiful shapes. I was just cutting whatever. Like, I didn't even freaking care. And this woman had the guts to come back to me and tell me that I'm not cutting the fruits well. Why are you freaking picking on me, ma? Why? I just looked at her like, you eat it, Kwan. I think that one was in my mind. After a while, she now told me that she come and collect the stove. Now, this is the only part of the story that is paining me. Where I went to collect the stove, I would have just left it. But then there's like this little respect to me. But there's some people that just don't deserve that respect. And if this kind of thing should ever happen to me again, God forbid, if this kind of thing should ever happen to me again, I bet you tell me come and collect. Eat it. I ain't collecting nothing. I'm not going to collect anything. So that's the only part of this story that pains me. The fact that I went back to collect the stove. So I collected it. After collecting stove, oh yeah, now let me put kerosene and like light it. I found out that rain fell on it. Rain fell on because I think this thing ceiling is leaking. So rain entered, and that place that they kept it, rain fell on it. The whole this thing thread was wet. And you know when thread of stove is wet, it is practically useless. Like very, very useless. So I was like, So I think it's just as in right now I'm thinking about it, I think it's like God that actually made this thing to happen so that the external vigilators will not mind me using somebody else's stuff to cook. So I saw that this one was wet and stuff like that. I was like, more either way stuff, I'm not even using this. So I just kept it to one side and used other people's gas to cook. But as I was cooking, as I was doing everything, this woman kept passing my side, kept telling me. And you know one thing that pained me more? The woman that said that she's from outside that like made friends with my mom. Oh yeah, now I was like, Ma, see, you were here when I collected the stove. My mom even came here yesterday. I told you when I collected the stove. I showed you that I found my stove. You took me inside there. I didn't see my stove. I finished telling her everything. The woman nodded like she don't know me. I said, hey, all right, okay, that's how it is. No problem. I can see you cannot stand up for yourself. Must be a coward, man. With all due respect. Anyways, I finished cooking and the food was like extremely nice. People, that was the first time I was ever cooking soup in my life. That was the first time I was cooking soup in my life, and it actually turned out nice. Like on a normal, if we're doing food that are not practical, before we go to school to like do the main stuff, we actually practice at home. But for some reason, I didn't practice that soup at home. But then I always stay in the kitchen when they're cooking, and then of course people are always there to cook the soup. So I never saw the opportunity to cook soup until, as in on my own, until that day. And it actually came out like very, very, very nice, notwithstanding everything that happened that day. My fruit salad, I can't even remember every other thing I did, but every other thing came out nice. Everything came out nice. It was like so wonderful. And I got A1. Yes, I did. After everything, I packed my stuff, and my dad came to pick me that day because I was not feeling fine. And then that was the last time I was going to use that stove because I didn't cook for Nico. And I did not carry that stove. I left the stove there for her. Me collect it. I dey craze. It's her stove, she eat it. Some things teachers do, they don't just make sense, like at all in any way. And I just kept thinking, like, of all the things to steal stove, like people were even shocked, like, I know cigars to steal stove. Like the story is not even believable in any way. I left my stuff in your care. Number one, I should be vexing that you left it in a place that rain will fall on it after I kept it well though. You now decided to be using my own stove, left it in a place that rain will fall on it, and then you now came out during the exam to claim that it's your own and call me a thief. Like, so that what do the external invigilators do? Mark me down, call me a thief, give me F or what? Even if they gave me F, I'm not using for that not to do anything. When I came home, I told my mom was so vexed. Oh my God. She went all mama bear. Even my dad, everybody was vexed. Like, when you know somebody, like, I don't do that kind of thing. It's not something, even if I do that kind of thing, of all the things I'll be stealing the stove. And then everybody knows that you bought that stove with your money. It is my own stove. We came to collect it the day before, but you couldn't even give it to me. Then the next day, on the day of the exam, a whole wayek, you came to be doing me like as if I'm a thief. Like as if I stole something. Of all things to steal stove. And you know the funny thing? The funny thing is that I don't even know how to use stove well. I would prefer to use gas than to use stove. So if I was going to steal, it would have been gas. Like that's the point of the whole thing. So I was so confused. I was like, Ma, bro, no. That's it though. I was accused. How your baby girl was accused of stealing stuff. It's like very insulting. Very, very insulting. And since that day, I just lost my respect for the woman. Like, I just lost my respect. Let me just tell you something. This woman taught us in gestury. She taught us in gestury, homework, and I did homework in gestury. That time, now you have to choose between homework, business studies, and agriculture. And I was doing homework, and she was my teacher. And this woman, anytime she enters the class in gestury, there's this particular fly that will always follow her. This one is like very black, and her wig was like hideous, very hideous, and she was just black. So at least she would just use good behavior to mask every other thing. But no, she decided to be evil. Fly will be following you on your head every time. Every single time she enters the class, fly will be following her. Then she now came to do me with the thing she did me in SSJ. But anyways, it's God. God just did it for me. And I got A1 in it. I feel like, that was just like a way of God blessing me and whatnot. That's the end. That's I was accused of stealing wet stove that belonged to me. Oh, girl. Anyways, see you guys in my next video. Hopefully it not take so long to make another video because oh yeah. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.